All right, we're doing section 5.5. We are skipping section 5.4. Don't worry about why. We just are. Okay. Be happy that we are. Okay. I'm doing it for your benefit. All right. So here we go. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about triangles again today, and we're also going to talk about things that are unequal. All right. Actually, yeah, we'll just say that. So we call this lesson triangle inequality. All right, that's the title of the lesson. All right, let's do this. Thank you. Let's say I gave you, let's do this. Let's bring this into it. I did this last class. We'll do this again. I'll bring this ruler. Check that out. Isn't that cool? Just downloaded that the other day. So what I'm going to do, I just want to see what these lengths are. Watch. If I said, let's make this 5. That's pretty close, right? Let's make another one from here. Let's make it, I don't know, 8. And let's make another one. Let's see. Oops. Let's make this one. What did I go? 5, 8.
10.
Yeah, let's go 10. That's a good call. All right, so the shorter one is 5. Are we listening? Come on now, pay attention. You guys taking notes? You got your notes out? Okay, I already asked you once to do it. Watch, this is 5, this is 8, and this is 10. Would you agree?
Yes.
Thanks to my nice little ruler here. All right, let's get that out of the way. I got it online. Let's just spread these out just a little bit. All right, so what did we say? This is 5, this is 8, and this is 10. Okay, what I want to try to do is I want to try to make a triangle. Yeah, I want to try to make a triangle with these 3 lengths right here. Okay, there's only one way to do it? All right. Now, I'll tell you what. Now, I can change the angles of these sides, but I can't change the length, okay? And they all got to make one triangle. That means all the endpoints have to match up with each other, all right? And I want to try to do that. Let's see if I can. Wait a minute. I'm dumb. Yes, I am. Let's do this again. Let's change the length of this one. Is that all right? Let's make this 7. Let's make it 6. I don't know. They just do. What's a big deal? It's just an online ruler. Who cares? So what do I got now? I got 5. I've got 6. And let's make this even a little bit longer. Let's make it like, I don't know, 14. Does that look like it's at 14? Let's put it right there. Yeah, that looks good. All right, let's use these lengths instead. Sorry about that. Oops. Get out of there. Okay. Now, where are they again? It's this one, and this one, right? So I can get rid of these 3. So let's see what our lengths are. We good paying attention? Just because I'm trying to figure something out here doesn't mean it's free time for you guys just to do whatever you want to do. Let's pay attention. Yeah, it's still 5, right? So what do we got? We got 5, 6, and what did I make this? 14? Okay, now this will be better. Now, can I make a triangle with those 3 lengths? Well, let's try it. Okay, we'll use this bottom one, just go horizontal, okay? And we'll take this one. What's not big enough? That's right, these 2 smaller sides. Look, let's put it really, really close. I'm not going to have them touch just yet. I will in a second. Let's scooch this over just a little bit. Oops. Okay, let's look at this. How long is this one right here? That's 6. That's a little bit longer, right? And this one's 5, right? And this one's what? 14.
14.
Look, if I take this side, if I can grab it, and I put it right on here. Oh, I'm sorry. Give me a second. Bear with me here. All right, if I put that right there, still not doing this right. Hold on. I thought it'd be better this class than the other class because I'd already done it once. All right, let me grab it now and put it right there. There we go. That's right on the end of that one, isn't it? Okay, do you see it? So it's a little bit thicker right there. So it's from here to here. And if I take this one and I put it, let's do this. Come on, there we go. Put it right there. Do you agree? All right, so that one's there, that one's right there. If I'm going to make a triangle out of it, what am I going to have to do to this thing? That's right. I'm going to put that in. Now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this, I'm going to flip it up. See, that'll make one angle of the triangle, won't it? If I go to this one over here, if I can grab it without grabbing that big long one. Oh, goodness. Let's try this. Come on. There it is. Okay. Let's scooch it down. And I got to move this little circle thing down the bottom so I can flip it around. So watch. If I move this like this, let's just move this down so it touches. No, there's not always a way. Because look at this. Is there any way at all? Is that a triangle? If that's 14, and that's 6, and that's 5, is there any way that I can manipulate those three lengths without changing the length of it? I'm not shortening one. I'm not making one any longer or anything else. I'm keeping those three lengths. Are we listening? There's a lot of commotion going on. Let's listen now. Is there any way that I could take those three lengths and make a triangle out of it?
No.
There's not. Because look, even if I took this one and flipped it down to here, okay, that's as long as it could go, isn't it? All right, and this one as long as it can go, and they'll still never touch each other. There's no way I can get a triangle out of those. So I can't just take any three line segments and make a triangle out of those three line segments. So, see, now you got me all off. Because you guys are talking so much. So let's just get rid of these numbers right here. So you can't make a triangle out of that. So if I had a side 5, 6, and 14, I cannot make a triangle out of those. What am I going to have to do to one of these sides to make a triangle out of it? Well, I'm going to have to take it and maybe make it a little bit longer, right? Maybe make it, I don't know if I can get this to work or not. We'll see. And maybe take this and tilt that up a little bit like that. There, I can make a triangle out of that, couldn't I? But look at this side right here and look at this side right here. If I added them together, if I took this length right here, this length. Now, I made it longer than 6, didn't I? This still stayed 5 and this still stayed 14. But if I took this and added the length of it to this one right here, what do you think they would be? In fact, let's just do this. Would it be exactly 14?
Yeah.
It couldn't be exactly 14, because if it was exactly 14, this length right here and this length from here to here, right, would be 14. As soon as I take one and flip it up, guess what's going to happen? It's going to shorten it, right? Okay, and there's going to be a gap in there, isn't it? As soon as I tilt it up, there's going to be a little gap. So, I don't know, let's just for fun do this. If I can get this to work. Let's just kind of tilt that. Not quite there. Just tilt it a little bit more like that. I need one to be able to... Anyway, you get the idea. So this is around what? It's around 9. Okay, it's around 9. And it's probably a little bit more than 9. Let's see. Yeah, it's definitely more than 9. You see that? Because there's 0. If I flip this up a little bit, it'd be right in here. It's close to 9.5, so it's a little more than 9. All right, and this is what? We'll just call it 9.5. Is that all right? And this is how much? I think this was 5, wasn't it? And this is 14. Now, could you have a triangle with these lengths? Yeah, because what's 9.5 plus 5? Well, that's 14.5. What's true about these two measurements compared to this longest measurement? It's got to be bigger. That's right. So here's what you have to do. I went through all that mess. All right. Sorry, it was a little bit confusing, but I think you basically got the idea of what's going on. If I have 3 lengths, what I have to do is take the two smaller lengths. Okay. Take the 2 smaller ones, add them up. Now, if they add up to be less than 14, guess what? Can you make a triangle out of it? No, you can't, because they won't reach. You follow me? All right? Because look, if this one and this one added up to be less than 14, if I start tilting them up to make a triangle out of it, there's no way they're going to touch each other and reach. Right? I showed that earlier. So those two can't be less than 14. They can't even be equal to 14. Because watch. If one side is here and one side is here, and this, let's say this was 9 and let's say this was 5. What does that add up to be? 14. But guess what? As soon as I make a triangle out of that, what happens? There's a gap. You see it? That means what has to be true about these two lengths? They have to add up to be what? Greater than 14. So the 2 smaller ones, okay, I'm not sure how we can write that, but the 2 smaller ones have to be greater than this one right here. So can this be a triangle? No. What's the test? You go 5 plus 6. Now that has to be greater than 14, but is it? Is 11 greater than 14? Of course it's not. Okay, so that is not a triangle. So we say no. You can't make a triangle out of it. Give me some lengths that you could make a triangle. Let's go 5, 6, and let's say 10. Can you make a triangle with sides 5, 6, and 10? Yeah, because what do? You take the 2 smaller ones, 5 and 6, and it has to be greater than what? 10. Is this greater than 10? Absolutely. 11 is greater than 10, so yes. We say yes. We can make a triangle. There could be decimals, sure. It's not that big of a deal. You know how to add decimals, don't you? Like right here. 5 and 9.5. What is that added together? It's 14.5. Now, the 2 smaller ones need to add up to be bigger than the third side. Not just the third side, but the greatest side, okay? These are 2 smaller ones, right? They have to add up to be bigger than the largest side. Is 14.5 bigger than 14? Yes, it is. So can you have a triangle with those lengths? Yes, you can. So that's going to be half your homework right there. That's all it is. It's pretty easy, isn't it? They give you 3 lengths, and you just have to tell, can you make a triangle out of those 3 lengths? Make sense? Okay. Let's get rid of some of this junk. Let's keep that 5, 6, and 10 up there. That's all right. I can go over 15. Didn't we have this discussion yesterday? So I thought. So watch. Let's say I have 5, 6, and I'll tell you what. Let's get rid of that 10. I want to figure out what possible numbers, what is my range of numbers, from what number to what number could possibly make this thing work, make this thing into a triangle. Well, we said 10 works, right? Give me another number that could work. 9, good. Right, because it's got to be any number that's less than what? Because 5 plus 6 is 11, so it can't be 11, and it can't be, these can't, or this number can't be bigger than 11. So it's got to be what? So it's got to be less than what? Less than 10? Less than 11, right, because it could be 10, right? So this number has to be less than 11. You follow me? Because 5 plus 6 is 11. If this number was 12, 5 plus 6 is not greater than 12. 5 plus 6 isn't even greater than 11, is it? It's equal to it. So it has to be less than 11. So let's start putting some numbers that are smaller than 11 in there. 10 works, right? 9 works, right? Because 11. Not, okay, 6 works. What about 5? Can we go 5? Yeah. 4, 3, 2, 1. Can we put a 1 in there? Can we put a 1?
Yeah.
What would the test be? What would you add up? You wouldn't add up 5 and 6. Remember, you add up to 2 what? You add up to 2 smaller ones. That's right. You add up the 1 and the 5. Okay, so 5 and 1 is 6. Is 6 greater than 6?
No.
So can you have a 1 there? No, you can't. Okay, so can you have a 2? Yeah, what's the 2 smaller numbers? 5 and 2, all right, which is 7. Is 7 bigger than 6? Yes, it is. So you can't have a 1, but you can have a 2, right? What about 1.1? Can you have 1.1? Because 5 plus 1.1 is what? Is 6.1 bigger than 6? Yes, it is. So you can. Because 5 plus 1 is 6, and 6 is equal to 6. Remember, the two smaller ones have to be greater than the largest side. So this can't be a 1. Can it be a 1.01? Yeah, because 5 plus this is 6.01. Is 6.01 bigger than 6? Yes, it can be. So what does it have to be greater than? That's right. It has to be greater than what? Greater than 1. So any number that's bigger than 1 will work. Any number that's less than 11, or I should say in between 1 and 11. Do you see that? That's your range. That's the second part of what they're going to ask you to do on this worksheet. They're going to say, what is the range, or find the range. Let me see exactly how they say this. Yep. It says find the range for the measures of the third side of a triangle. All right, so they'll give you a 5 and 6. And they'll say, okay, what's the third side? What's the possibilities? What's the range of possibilities for that third side? Well, it could be any number that's what? Bigger than 1, and what else? Less than 11. So any number that falls in between 1 and 11 will work for your third side. Anything bigger than 11 is not going to work. Anything smaller than 1 is not going to work. So you can't have a half, can you? You follow me? Okay. Yes, sir.
So if the 5 was a 4, then it would have to be bigger than 2.
Right. Okay, and let's look at the numbers. Let's do that right now. Okay, watch. The math is so easy, and you're going to find this homework very, very easy. The explanation takes a lot longer and is more complicated to understand than actually doing the problems. Doing the problems is very, very, very simple. So if I just had 5 and 6, how did I get a 1 out of 5 and 6? Mikhail, you watching, right? Up here, please. What'd you do? That's right, you just subtracted 6 and 5. Okay, so 6 minus 5 is 1. How'd you get 11 out of these two numbers? You add them up. That's all there is to it. So if I give you two numbers, if I give you, a 3 and a 7, and I say, what is the range? Find the range of the measures of the third side. It's got to be less than, well, let's go greater than. It's got to be greater than what? 4 and less than 10. That's right. Now watch how I want you to write it. I don't want you to write it like this. I just did it like that just so you could understand what I was saying. This is how I want you to write it. We'll call it x. Okay, x can be that third side. All right, x has to be what? Less than? No, less than what? 10. It's got to be less than 10. So this is how we do this. Do you see that? X is less than 10. It makes sense, doesn't it? But x also has to be what? More than or greater than 4. How do I show greater than? Now, if I read it from right to left, I'm going to have to do it like this. You see that? X is greater than 4, or 4 is less than x. It's the same thing, isn't it? But it looks real nice like this. This is how I want you to write your answers. Like this. They both go to the left. That's right. Do you see how they both inequalities go to the left? Just make sure you remember that. What goes in the first one? Well, you subtract the two numbers to figure out what goes there, right? 7 minus 3 goes there. And how'd you figure out this number over here on the right? You just added them together, and you got that number on the right. It couldn't be easier to do as far as math-wise, but I want you to have an understanding of why you get those numbers. Let me just show you one more, I guess explanation would be a good word for it. So watch. Let's do that triangle thing again, and I'll try to get this right. Watch this. Let's say I had another, I don't know, another side like this. Yeah, about like that, okay? What's that third side have to be? Now, I mean, you could just do it like this, right? But that third side could vary, couldn't it? Depending on whatever my angle is for this. So what if my angle, whoops, sorry. What if my angle was down here, way down here, skinny like that? Then what would have to happen to my my third side? See, it doesn't even reach, but what would I have to do? I'd have to stretch it out, wouldn't I? Yep, I'd have to stretch it out to hit right there. Agreed? So watch, as this thing, hopefully this will make a little sense to you. Watch, as this side right here, actually let's not even mess with that one. Let's do this one right here because this is one we were going to change. Watch, as the angle changes here, what happens to that other side? It gets bigger and bigger and bigger, doesn't it? Do you see that? And it could get way big like this, couldn't it? You can make an obtuse triangle out of it. So look at this side right here. It will get longer and longer and longer, right? So depending on this side right here, how it rotates, that changes this. So that third side could vary, couldn't it? It could vary between what? Between 1 and 11, let's say. All right? That third side all depends on this. I didn't change the length of this side, did I? All I did was just change the angle. Watch. If I go like this, that third side is going to be really tiny, isn't it? Do you see it? As I go like this, it gets bigger, 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 bigger. Now look, how small can it get? Well, it can't get that small, right? It's just a little bit bigger than the difference, and it's a little bit larger than the sum. All right? I think I said that right. Probably not. Anyway, you get the idea. Do you see that? All right, so that third side, just kind of, let's get rid of this. Try to visualize that. Daggone it. If I could get this thing to turn. There we go. Watch. See that? Visualize that third side right there. It's kind of small now, isn't it? What's happening? That third side gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until you get way down here like this. Okay? But if this was completely straight across, that third side couldn't be the sum of those two things. It has to be less than the sum of those two things. All right? So you add them up, that's less than. You subtract them, it's greater than. And there you go. That's all there is to it. I hope that made a little bit of sense on the lengths of these things. I think it did. A little bit of a rough explanation, but I think you got the basic idea. But to do the problems is really simple. I promise you it's very, very simple. Okay. All right, that's it. I'll give you a worksheet, and I'll let you work on it.